Okay, good morning everyone, and Chazak Baruch. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Monday morning as we are studying together a new parasha, my friends, Parashat Tissa. Parashat Tissa, of course, is famous for the sin of Het HaEgel, the sin of the golden calf. And today I would like to share with you a beautiful idea, a beautiful concept that appears actually in our parasha, very loud and clear. You know, we often think of evil, of the Yetzer Hara, as something that we have to destroy. We have to get rid of it. We have to remove it. We have to annul it. This is called in Hebrew, bitul hayetzer. Bitul means annulling my Yetzer Hara. And of course, there is truth to that. I got to get rid of my Yetzer Hara. But today I want to share with you that actually there's something much more powerful that we could be doing. You know, the Gemara says that if someone is born under the mazal of Mars, ma'adim, okay? The Gemara speaks about horoscopes and mazalot. And wherever you're born, depending on the day, the month, the hour even, you are born with a certain nature, okay? There's a certain temperament, okay? Believe it or not, this is something that we believe in. The Gemara says, whoever is born in Mars, in Ma'adim, Adom means red. Whoever is born in the Mazal of Ma'adim will be a shedder of blood, okay? He's going to spill blood. Now that may sound like, okay, Hazi, this guy is born in this month of Mars, he's going to be a murderer. Comes along Rav Ashi and he says, no, it doesn't mean anything. Because he can channel that aggression and he become a surgeon, he can become a shohet, he can become a mohel, he can become someone who does brit milah, circumcision. You know, we had a big beautiful brit milah this Shabbat in the community, and we had the pleasure of having with us Maris Abraham. Maris Abraham is a very special human being. If you ever meet him, get a bracha. This is someone who meets Eliyahu Hanavi every single day. He does multiple brit milahs every day, and all for free. It's unbelievable what he does. And the Gemara says that the mohel, along with the father of the baby, and the sandak, is forgiven every day that he does a brit milah. Maris Abraham does multiple brit milahs every single day. He meets the he sees Eliyahu Hanavi, you know, more times than some people see their wives. Every day. And he is definitely someone who the Gemara says is born in the mazal of Mars. He's born in the influence of Mars. I don't know what his birthday is, but this is what the Gemara is saying. Just because you're born in Mars doesn't mean that it's a bad. Blood. Yeah, blood. Look at this. How many mitzvot you could do. How many brit milahs. You could be a doctor. You could save people's lives. You could be a shohet. You could feed people kosher meat. So this is something that is called in Hebrew, what we call channeling. You take something, and we have to realize this, and this is going to be today's class. Today's class, we're going to talk about how actually nothing in life is good or bad. You know, we're studying this book, Positivity Bias. I hope you got it already. And if you pay attention, the theme that we keep bumping into is that really nothing is good or bad. Everything is parv. Everything is neutral. Whether it's good or bad is up to us. Adam HaRishon was born in Gan Eden, in paradise, and he was miserable. Miserable. He was thinking about the one tree he didn't have. And he had people who were in Auschwitz, in concentration camps, that somehow were able to sing and be in joy. So where you are has nothing to do with your level of happiness in life. No such thing as good or bad. So when we take that concept, that everything is neutral, it's up to you. So we take it one step further. We take it to not only happiness, we could apply it to character, to traits, to Middot, to blood, Mars. Rabbi, this guy's a hothead. It's true, he's a hothead. But you know what? Hothead could be an amazing thing. Everything in life is good or bad. A girl once asked Lubavitcher Rebbe, what was his opinion on atomic energy? Is it good or bad? So the Rebbe said to the girl, tell me, in your house you have a kitchen, you have a knife. Is the knife good or bad? She said, Rabbi, the knife, it depends. If you use it to cut food, it's good. If you use it to kill, it's bad. So the Rebbe said, same thing. That's a very good answer, he said. And it's the same thing with atomic energy. It's the same thing with everything in life. Everything in life could be good or bad. And we have to realize that it's neutral. It all depends on what you use it for. If a person wants to come and approach something that's good, They could use good for bad. You could use bad for good. Everything in life, even midot, even character, we have to realize character is not something that's good or bad. You would think that there's certain good midot and there's certain bad midot. And it's true. Overall, there's certain qualities that are overall good. There are certain qualities that are overall bad. But we have to realize that midot are neutral. And if you take a good middah, but use it at the wrong time, that's a very dangerous thing. If I could give you just an example. If you take kindness, okay, kind. Or let's say you're someone who doesn't like to create mahaloket. You don't like to create waves. Okay. Now you see your friend getting in the car drunk. You say, hey, don't get in the car drunk. Give me the keys. Let me drive you. They say, no, I'm good. Now you know they're not good. So imagine this friend, he said, okay, you know what? Listen, I don't like to create mahaloket. I don't want to make fights. I'm not a confrontational person. Okay, I'll let you go in the car. Right? This is a very wrong, dangerous thing to do. What do you mean, Rabbi? I'm being nice. I don't want to fight. You see, there's no such thing as being nice or mean. Everything has a time and a place. Shlomo HaMelech, he wrote a very, very important book. He wrote 3 of them. One of them is called Kohelet, and over there, he writes that there's a time for everything. Lakol zman va'et. There's a time and a place for everything, my friends. There's a time for peace. There's a time for war. What do you mean, Rabbi? War? War is bad. There's a time. War is not bad. Depends when. Depends why. Depends how. Everything is good or bad. It's up to us to decide when we want to use it. When technology came out, especially with the media, radio, television, internet, so many rabbis, they felt that you should avoid it at all costs. Someone came to Rav Chaim Kanievsky and he said to him, Rabbi, is internet good or bad? Rav Chaim said, what's internet? So he didn't even know what it is. So the guy that was there told him, internet is, it's adultery, it's pornography, it's murder. Internet, you can watch videos of violence. Internet it's right. It's idolatry. So he told him it's adultery, idolatry, and murder. What do you think Rav Chaim responded? He responded what any one of us would respond. He said, so if that's the case, Yahareg ve'al ya'avor, then you have to die, not to own internet, right? But really, the guy misrepresented. What's internet? Internet's not all those things only. It could be. But a knife could also be murder. It's up to you how you use a knife. And really, the Rebbe's approach was that these are neutral instruments. And actually they could be used for a tremendous amount of good. If we know how to channel them for good, if we know how to take it. Just think about what you're watching right now, okay? This video is only allowed because of internet. I cannot tell you how much good came out because of internet in COVID, when everyone was stuck home and you couldn't go to shul, you couldn't go anywhere. How much classes, how much Torah was being learned because of the internet. So internet is not bad. Internet's not good. Internet is neutral. You decide what you use it for. One Sunday morning, a winner of the Miss Israel competition visited the Rebbe for a blessing. The Rebbe blessed her and then he said, listen to this, what do you tell Miss Israel? A beautiful lady, what do you tell her? So he quoted the pasuk that we say in Eshet Hayil. This is another pasuk from Shlomo HaMelech in Mishleh. Sheker ahen vehevel hayofi. Beauty is false and charm is false. Isha yirat Hashem hittalal. The best thing to have is yirat Hashem. It's only worth praising a lady that has yirat Hashem. Now, on a simple level, this pasuk means that beauty is vain. It's all nonsense. Only thing that you should pursue is fearing of God. But the Rebbe then told her, he told her a different perush. He said that beauty is vain only if it remains for beauty's sake. But Isha Yirat Hashem, if a lady has fear of God, then even her beauty is a beautiful thing. A lady who's God-fearing uses her physical beauty for beautiful spiritual endeavors. Beauty, the Rebbe explained, is like the number 0. The number 0, how much is 0? 0. And what if you have 100 zeros? That's a 0. Million zero, right? Beauty is 0. But Yirat Hashem, if you add Hashem, if you use it the right way. If you add the number 1 before all those zeros, now it becomes a huge number. Now it's worth billions and trillions and, right? Google, because beauty is not bad. Depends what you use your beauty for. Beauty could be an amazing thing. My wife even remembers when she was in school, she constantly says over of a teacher, they used to really dress so classy, so elegant, took care of herself. And my wife remembers as a girl in high school being so inspired, realizing that you can be both religious and beautiful at the same time. And one does not have to come at the cost of the other. So that's an example of a lady using her beauty the right way as an inspiration. So another example is when it comes to prestige, titles. There was a big philanthropist, Count and Countess Makhlouf El-Kaim. Okay, I'm not sure if anyone here heard of them. But they actually didn't want to use their titles. They felt that it was too pretentious. So the Rebbe addressed their hesitation in a private audience, and he told them that you were given by Hashem these titles. Don't hesitate to use them to open doors for Jewish causes. People will take you more seriously if you introduce yourselves as Count and Countess. Others may use their titles egotistically, but you should use this unique privilege to positively impact the people that you meet. Even a title could be an amazing thing. There is a famous story of a rabbi, I forget which one exactly. Maybe it was the Brisker Rav, Rav Chaim Soloveitchik. I forget which one, Rav Chaim Ozer, I don't remember exactly. But whenever he would write a letter, he would always hesitate. He would never use his titles before his name. He was humble. He would sign his name, Chaim. He wouldn't write Harav, Hagaon. He wouldn't write that. He didn't want to boast. One time, he used his titles. When he was sending his shamosh, his attendee, to go and tell a lady who was a widow that he's coming to meet her. She was very down. She was very sad. So he said, go and tell her, and repeat word for word what I tell you. Go and tell her that Harav, Hagaon, the head of the city, the biggest rabbi of the generation, Rav Chaim is coming to see her. Rabbi, you never boast your titles. The rabbi said, it's true, I don't boast my title. But in this case, the lady, when she hears all those titles, it'll make her feel better to hear that that's who's coming to visit her. So you better go and tell her all the titles. So titles could be an amazing thing. Listen to this amazing. This one is a wild one. You ready? Here's another story. And again, maybe not all rabbis would agree to this, but there was a physics student at Penn State University. His name was Yaakov Hanoka. He took a year's break in the middle of pursuing his degree to go to yeshiva in Israel. Well, I don't know where the yeshiva was actually. But he became so in love with Torah and Judaism that he wanted to remain in yeshiva instead of pursuing his doctorate. Toward the end of his first year, he had an audience with the Rebbe, during which he brought up his plans for the future. Much to his surprise, the Rebbe said, I want you to go back to the university and get your PhD. The guy said, but Rebbe, I think I could go on to yeshiva, become a rabbi. You know how many people I could influence on campus? Inspire them to learn? So the Rebbe answered with a smile, you will accomplish much more for Judaism with 3 initials after your name. Boom. Wow. This is heavy. It's true. But you know what? The Rebbe realized that unfortunately, labels are a thing. And people, this is the psychology of students, that the social psychology of packaging and branding, people care about packaging. You go to the store, why do you choose one wine over another wine? You don't know which wine tastes better. Why do you choose this toothpaste over that toothpaste? They all look the same to you. You don't know the difference. Packaging is a big deal. So he said, that's how kids think. The reality is that's what it is. So you have a PhD at the end of your name, whatever you say will have more credence. Go back and finish your degree. That's what he told him. He always found a way to take what's maybe good or bad, but to channel it. Everything can be channeled for good. I'll give you another example. We know kavod is a very dangerous thing. Gemara says, kin'ah, ta'ava, kavod. 3 things remove a guy from the world. Someone who's looking for honor. You should run away from honor. Whenever we do good, we should hide the good. We shouldn't publicize it, right? We shouldn't put it for people to see on a pedestal. That's called baseter. Baseter means privately. Baruch Hashem, many people give privately. However, I want to read to you. The Rambam also says that the highest level of tzedakah is to give privately. But the Rebbe sought and encouraged people to publicize their spiritual achievements. The Rebbe actually said that you should do whatever you do in a loud voice. As loud as possible. Everyone should hear the good that you do. It's a crazy thing. Today you see on social media, everyone taking selfies. The tiniest act that they do, they give a little tzedakah and they take a selfie of it for the whole world to see. Now, you could say that's a very arrogant thing. That's not a good thing. That's not altruistic. And it's true. It's true. It's not altruistic. The Rebbe said though, and maybe, you know what, I'm not saying you should go extreme in everything that you do. For sure, we should do many, many things that nobody knows about. But the Rebbe's making a point. Listen to the point he's trying to make. His point is that there has to be certain things that we do publicly. Unfortunately, the nature of contemporary media focuses on scandals and cynicism. If noise could be used to spread the message of negativity, why can't we use noise for the good? So we have to figure out a way. He always pushed how to use the media climate with its news of people's flaws and failings. We have to also publicize good deeds and positive qualities. It's true, you got to be private, but there also has to be a lot of publicity of the good that exists in the world. I'll give you a true story that happened here in the synagogue. There was a fellow that he was going up to give for an aliyah. We had a drive that day for kidney transplant on Shabbat. So I said to him, he came to me, he's like, Rabbi, I want to donate one kidney transplant, $20,000. But I want to do it baseter. I don't want to show off. Let's just do, when you get up there, just do matanat yado, which means anonymous number. Don't say the number. So at first I said, okay. Then, after he sat down and his aliyah started coming up, I started thinking about it. I'm like, no, it's not a good idea. The truth is, I went to him, I said, you have to actually give it out loud. You have to show everyone that you should give. You have to raise the bar. You got to get the ball rolling. He's like, what? No. I fought the guy. Finally, okay, fine, let's do it. We got up for the aliyah. After his reading, we did a misha berach. And even last second, he was like, Rabbi, wait 1 second, let's just do it privately. I'm like, no, trust me on this. He's like, okay, fine. We did out loud. $20,000, kidney transplant. Everyone's like, psh. Okay. Anyways, the guy sits down. Next guy goes up for an aliyah. We finish the aliyah. Misha berach, how much do you want to give? He's thinking. He goes, you know what? Put me down for a kidney transplant like so-and-so. I look at the guy. I saw him beaming, smiling. Gave me a nod. You were right, Rabbi. So sometimes you see everything in life, there's a time and place. Sometimes you should be humble. Maybe most times you should be humble, quiet, discreet, not showing off. But you have to know sometimes it's not the right place. If you're having a fundraiser for the shul, for organization, that's a time to be very loud. Put me down, whatever you want to give. I'm not telling you to give more than you can. But whatever you want to give, put me down, out loud. Create hype. The same way there's hype for bad, we got to use hype for good. And there's a time and place to be private, but there's a time to spread. And actually something that, I think the Ashkenazi community, if I could say this, does better than the Sephardi community, is that they do a better job in this area of publicizing deeds, stories. Listen to many of the stories that I say, many other Sephardi rabbis, and many of them are from Ashkenazi Gedolim. Not that it matters, but the point is, why am I quoting Ashkenazi more than Sephardi? Is because these are the stories that become known. These are the stories that are being taught. Ashkenazi person passed away, a big rabbi. There's automatically, there's many books being written. And the Sfaradim, a little bit, they have this middah of maybe not showing off. I don't know what it is. Even, I remember my rabbi told me that many rabbis in Syria, they would write for themselves big hidushim, big, important ideas on Perashah. They would write it for themselves. And when they were done, they would bury it. They didn't want honor. And a little bit today, again, I'm not here to say it was a mistake or not. I'm not weighing in. I'm just pointing out a fact. The fact is that when it comes to more recent Gedolim, the Sephardi approach has been a little bit to be a little bit low key, and maybe the a little bit we should apply this concept of it's beautiful to be humble, but we also have to make sure that we're teaching people, that we're showing people what good could be done. There's a middah called arrogance. What does arrogance mean? Arrogance is ga'ava, arrogant. So a man once, a student of Rosh Zalman of Liadi, he claimed that his arrogance was responsible for keeping him on the right path. He said that when his yetzer hara, when his evil inclination would come to him and say, hey, listen, Motel, come on, let's do a little sin. He would say to him, are you kidding me? You out of your mind? You want me to sin? Do you know who I am? I'm a Hasid. I'm wealthy. I'm well respected. You think I'm going to go do that gross act? Me? You know who I am? He would use his ga'ava for good. He would use his arrogance to overcome his sin. I'm better than that. You filthy, get out of here. He would use it for good. A man asked the Rebbe, what should I do to get rid of my inflated ego? The Rebbe said, why get rid of it? Why not live up to your own expectations of yourself? Be the amazing person whom you believe you are. Don't get rid of it. Use it for good. Every middah, my friends, even I'll tell you the Gemara. The Gemara says that if this ugly one, it's talking about the yetzer hara, if this ugly one bumps into you in the street, pull him to the study hall. My brother Rabbi Yaakov, he told me the following. It doesn't say blow his brains out. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say kill him. It says pull him to the study hall. You know why? Because the yetzer hara is a great thing. He's a great asset. Don't get rid of him. We could use him. Use him for good. Use him for good. You know, if you like tennis, I love tennis. I'm not so good, but I love tennis. And a big mistake that people make when they play tennis, especially when they start playing with better players, is that your opponent starts hitting very hard. And you make a mistake of thinking that if he hits harder, you have to hit harder. And really, it's not the case. Actually, because he's hitting so hard, he generated the speed. You don't have to generate. You just have to return. Keep your pace. You actually don't have to put much energy. Even if you just put your racket, it's going to go back. All you have to do is rechannel the ball, redirect the ball. And so, this is life. When there's a middah, realize if you struggle with jealousy, right? Why am I always so jealous of people? I wish I wasn't like that. So ugly that I'm jealous. Why can't I just be happy with what I have? But 1 second, if you're jealous, that's powerful. Envy, you could take envy. Just all you got to do, don't get rid of the power. Just rechannel the power, right? This is called, instead of bitul, destroying, kibush, conquering. It's taking jealousy and then just relocating it, reapplying it to the right areas. Rabbi, where am I supposed to be jealous? There's good areas to be jealous? Absolutely. The Gemara says, kinat sofrim tarbeh chokhmah. The jealousy of sages increases wisdom. To be jealous of spiritual things. That's where jealousy is amazing. If you see a friend is learning, take your jealousy and just move it there. Wow, he's learning. Why can't I learn? I could do it. I'm jealous. I remember I was once sitting with a very wealthy man, and we were learning the Perashah, and we got up to the 10 Commandments. We were talking about don't be jealous. And in my head I was thinking, I wonder, who is this guy jealous of? You know, he has everything. People are jealous of him. Who is he jealous of? You know, okay. Anyways, he goes to me. I'm not sure if he read my mind, but he said, Rabbi, you know who I'm jealous of? He said, I'm jealous of people that know how to be Hazan. They get up there, they read the Torah. I wish I learned that as a kid. I started crying. I said, wow, that's a beautiful jealousy. That's an amazing jealousy to have. That's a jealousy that I'm learning to rechannel. To take something that is quote unquote bad, jealousy. But it's realizing that the Gemara says jealousy is an amazing thing. Jealousy can be great. Wow, I wish I could be a mom like her. Look how she's so patient with her kids. So be jealous of that. Be jealous of good spiritual things. That's where jealousy, that's the right place. Even, like we said, arrogance, ga'ava. The Gemara says, ga'ava is good or bad? Say bad, very bad to be arrogant. But the Gemara says that you have to have a shminit sheba shminit. You have to have an eighth of arrogance. You have to have a little bit. You got to be arrogant sometimes. You got to be arrogant sometimes. If someone comes to try to tell you to do the wrong thing, you got to be arrogant. Right? Listen to this, you're going to like this one. Which mountain did Hashem give the Torah on? He gave it on Har Sinai. Why Har Sinai? Har Sinai, because Har Sinai was the lowest mountain, teaching humility. Okay? So if you want to teach me humility, why don't you give it in a valley? If you want to give it on something, so give it in less than a mountain. Har Sinai, you're right, it's a hill. But there's something lower than a hill, plateau, or even a valley. But the answer is, you can't be a valley. You got to have a little bit of arrogance. You can't be too big, but you got to have a little bit of a spine. You got to know when you put your foot down, right? That's an amazing concept. That's the idea today that we're studying. The study of realizing that everything that's bad actually could be your greatest arsenal. Could be your greatest tool, your greatest strength. You could use it if you know how. And with our children, when we find them struggling with a certain trait, we should actually show them, this is something that if you take it, you can become amazing. Remember the story of Rabbi Yohanan? He was a big rabbi. He was swimming in the lake. Resh Lakish was a robber, a bandit. He saw Rabbi Yohanan swimming, so he decided, he thought it was a girl. He didn't know it was a guy. He thought it was a girl. So he said, Gemara says, he dove in to go fishing, as they say. When he got up to him, he saw it was a guy. He said, oh, sorry, my apologies. What did Rabbi Yohanan say to him? Rabbi Yohanan, he said, wow, nice dive. Your strength could be used for Torah. He gave him a blessing. He didn't tell him, you pervert, you're disgusting, shame on you, no shame, where's your respect? Didn't tell him that. He said, wow, that is amazing strength. You should use it for Torah. He acknowledged this is a atomic energy. What you use it for is up to you. And Resh Lakish ended up using it for Torah. And he became an amazing rabbi. He became a great Talmid Chacham. That only happened because Rabbi Yochanan had the wisdom of realizing that in life, don't get rid of your temptations. You know, how many people think they become religious and now they have to all of a sudden change who they are? Become religious, okay, now I'm going to become a little nobody. Right? No, become religious. If you like music, you played music as a kid, you become religious, keep playing. You know what you could do? Music, make Jewish music for the world. That's a beautiful thing. You were making parties when you were a kid. Bad parties. Now you become religious. Say, you know what? No more. I'm hanging up my jersey. I'm never going to make another party again. No! Make parties! But make amazing parties for chesed, for Torah, for good. Siyu Mashas, go help them plan it. Make good parties. The point is not to become different, not to change. It's only to change the direction. But the energy we need the energy. Every middah, my friends, if you're struggling, whatever it is that we're struggling with, ask yourself not, how do I get rid of it? But how do I just rechannel it? How do I redirect it? That's how the tzaddikim. You can't get rid of a force, right? If something's in motion, you can't stop it. You can just deflect, change its direction. That's what we have to do. By the way, that's much easier. When you're feeling, I'll give you another example. You're feeling a tremendous amount of love for a person. Maybe she's not the right person for you. She's inappropriate. You're feeling this heavy ta'ava. Love is the wrong word, but it's the English word that we use. It's really lust. If you're feeling a lust for a person, and you know it's not good for you, she's not your wife, it's not good, but you're feeling love, that passion, that fire, it's in your heart. Oh, I need to do it. What do I do? So don't get rid of the fire. You can't get rid of the fire, right? What you can do is you can just reshift the energy of that fire. Take that feeling, instead of trying to suppress and destroy it, just take that fire and say, okay, I'm going to use this for Hashem. Close your eyes. Next time, try this. It may sound crazy. But next time you're feeling a passion for the wrong thing, close your eyes and now use that for Hashem. Hashem, I just want to tell you how much I love you, how much you do for me. I realize now, wow. You will see, my friend, something magical happen. You'll see all of a sudden, you took something that was so bad, but you used it. Actually, you realize it wasn't bad. It was just an energy. It was being used for the wrong thing. All I got to do is not take it and redirect it for something amazing. Use it. Don't lose it. Don't destroy it. Don't destroy the Yetzer Hara. The Gemara says, pull him to the Beit Midrash, because you need him. He is someone who one day will actually be your crown jewel. And this is our parasha. Our parasha, we read about Het HaEgel. Het HaEgel is about the Jewish people doing the sin. And God said, I had it. They're so stubborn. Moshe, I've had it. I'm destroying them. Ki am keshe oref. What does that mean? They're stiff-necked. I can't. These Jews, they're so stubborn. They don't move their neck. They don't know how to... So what does Moshe say? Moshe goes up and he starts praying for 40 days, forgive them, and another 40 days, he gets forgiveness. So altogether, he's up there for 120 days. The first 40, when he comes down, he sees the Egel. He goes up for another 40 to pray for forgiveness, and he goes up for the third 40 to get the second set of tablets. And what does he say as his argument to God? He says, God, I think you should forgive them because they're very stubborn. And everyone wonders, well, one second. That's literally why I want to destroy them. Because they're stubborn. And Moshe says back, no. Moshe is saying to Hashem, you see stubbornness as a bad thing. But stubbornness, Hashem, is the most amazing thing that sometimes could be. Because you want a people that are going to follow you without questions in the desert into the land of Israel. You want people that's going to follow you for 3,000 years of persecution. You want a people that's going to remain holding on to their faith in the face of all of these temptations. You need a stubborn people. If they're not stubborn, they have no chance. They're going to become one day Iraqi when they're in Iraq. They're going to become Persian when they're in Persia. They're going to become Greek when they're in Greece. When they're going to become Roman, they're going to become American. They're going to become... You want Jews proud walking in the streets with a Gemara instead of parading around a football game, parading around the Siyum HaShas at a football stadium. You want that? You need a stubborn people. You need the energy of stubbornness. God, I don't see Keshe Oref as bad. Unfortunately, they use it for bad here. But really, it's an amazing energy, God. And that's precisely why you should forgive them. And Hashem said, you're right. Hashem forgave them. Precisely. Because. And realize that when you're dating someone, if you're going on a date, here's this person that you don't like this trait, right? Rabbi, I don't like it. She's very flimsy. She's very flimsy. She's always bending. She doesn't have a spine when her mom or her sisters tell her something. It's true, but you know what? That's going to work to your advantage. When you're dating her, when you're married, she's going to be whatever you want her to be, right? So realize that there's something beautiful in that. Or the other way around. Any middah, right? Any middah, there's always a pro and a con. Rabbi, I want a girl, she's going to be very worldly. I want her to be out there and go, okay, it's true, good, worldly, opinionated, but just know that. Just know that comes also with a price. That she's going to be out there, and maybe you're used to a home that you came home, your dad came home, dinner was ready, the mom was there, eating dinner with her husband, whatever he said. Just realize you're not going to get that. It's not a good or bad, but just everything has there's pros and cons. Realize what you're trading off. Realize this is what the Rebbe taught. This is what this idea is for today, my friends. That we should learn to channel, to direct, to redirect the energy instead of throwing it out. Why are you throwing it out? Right? Don't throw it out. Use it for good. This force, this is very, very powerful. Even, you ready for this? I'll tell you one last story today. A man came, he said to the Brisker Rav, he said, Rabbi, if there's a time and place for everything, What about the trait of kefirah, denying God? Is there ever a time that I'm supposed to deny God? You said there's a time and place. So where is the time and place for not believing in God? That's what you ask him. The Brisker Rav said, absolutely. You know when you're not supposed to believe in God? When a man comes to you for tzedakah, someone knocks on your door, at that moment you're supposed to believe as if there's no God and you are the only one that can help him. That's when you're supposed to not believe in Hashem. You're supposed to act as if it's up to you and only you to help this person. And if not for you, he's going to go hungry. You know, a lot of times we play the emunah card at the wrong time. A guy comes to you for help, whether it's physical or financial or emotional help. And what do we say to them? Don't worry, Hashem has a plan for everyone. All of a sudden you believe in Hashem? You never said Hashem once. In 20 years of business, it's always you. All of a sudden someone comes to you for a hand. Oh, don't worry, Hashem. That's the wrong middah. That's the wrong time. When someone comes to you for a hand, you're supposed to give it to them as if there's no Hashem. As if. That's the point. Everything has a time and has a place. Time and place, my friends. This is, I think, really a beautiful, beautiful thing. We shouldn't look at ourselves when we have ugliness, bad. What a bad middah. Why? So ichi. I feel bad about myself that I have these bad thoughts, these bad ideas. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. That's not bad. Okay, it happened to be you failed. You used it over here, the wrong context. But that's a gift that Hashem is giving you. You could take it. You could use it for the most beautiful thing. I'll end with one last beautiful parable. There was once a king that he had this beautiful diamond, huge diamond. There was one problem. This diamond had, right in the middle, a cut. Imagine you have a beautiful diamond, flawless, tiny scratch. What do you do? What are you going to do with the scratch now? You killed the whole diamond. So he invited all of the top jewelers, gemologists, whoever. Please come and fix the diamond, whatever price. But there's one condition. Don't cut the diamond in half. Everyone thought, okay, I'm going to cut the diamond right on the scratch. No, you can't cut the diamond. You have to keep it intact. Everyone came, they looked at it, they said, okay, listen, Your Honor, we're sorry. We can't help you. This diamond is ruined. But please, it's such a big piece. I don't want to lose it. It's ruined. Finally, one jeweler, he came, said, let me see. He said, I think I can fix it. Give me a week alone. He goes into a room with all of his tools. He starts doing things. They're listening. What is he doing in there? Finally, after a week, he comes out and he presents the king with the diamond in the crown. And the king looks at the diamond and he smiles. And finally, he puts on the crown and everyone looks. What did he do? How did he get rid of it? And they see he didn't get rid of it. This jeweler, he did something brilliant. He engraved on the stone a rose. The rose was the emblem of the kingdom. And he used that scratch as the stem of the rose. And it ended up being such a beautiful piece. So here we all have scratches, we all have flaws. We all have things that we try to get rid of. And really, today we're learning, don't get rid of it. Figure out, how can I use this to be something beautiful? The stem of the rose, something amazing here. I could use it for my marriage. I could use it for Hashem. I could use it with my kids. I could use it with the people around me. And it will be, this is what we mean, Even ma'asu habonim, hayeta lerosh pinah. A stone. Sometimes there's a stone that we look at it, we say, what an ugly stone. But really realize that this stone could be one day rosh pinah. This could be your most prized possession if you learn how to take this challenge. And instead of seeing it as a weakness, realizing that one day it could be your best friend. It could be your most prized possession. We'll stop over here, my friends. Wishing you all a wonderful, wonderful day. And hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.